Hi guys, so today's video is going to be how to apply foundation to oily / combination skin. I have oily skin right now, but sometimes I have combination skin. Combination skin is really just you have dry and oily skin. You might get oily in your T-zone, which is this area here, chin, nose, forehead, then right here. But you also may get dry patches as well. I've always had oily skin. It's kind of a pain in the butt because throughout the day you get really shiny and you have to make sure you're using the right products to prevent that shine. So that's what I'm doing here today. I'm going to teach you guys how to apply foundation for those of you that have oily skin and maybe, you know, are struggling with it and not sure what to do. Hopefully this will help you out. I first am going to go through each step that I take and talk to you about it and tell you all my tips and tricks, and then I will show a clip of me actually doing the process of putting my foundation on. I have my foundation on now, I just don't have my concealer because I'm going to be doing a highlighting and contouring routine after this, so I didn't want to put on my concealer now, which is why I look really tired. Sorry. So yeah, I will show a clip of me doing it, but now I'm going to get into the actual steps and what you need to know about each step. So first things first, biggest mistake people make when they have oily skin is, oh, I don't need to moisturize because I have oily skin already. Why should I have to put moisturizer on? That's a big no-no. You have to moisturize no matter what skin type you have, dry, normal, oily, combination. You must moisturize because your face, I noticed, I used to do the same thing. I used to think that I didn't have to moisturize because I had oily skin. But I would notice if I didn't moisturize, my skin would get more oily. And that was because my skin was producing more oil because I didn't give it the moisture that it needed. So yeah, moisturize, end of story. Hopefully that made sense. But basically, if you don't moisturize, your skin's just going to produce more oil in order to give it the moisture that it needs. So I use Cetaphil moisturizer. I like this one because it doesn't make my face greasy, but it also gives it the moisture that it needs. And it's not heavy or anything like that. I do have to say I'm not crazy about the smell. I don't know, I don't like the smell that much, but Neutrogena has some good moisturizers, and if you're into high-end, I'm sure there's some good high-end moisturizers. I know Clinique has some good ones for oily skin, but yeah, this is what I've been using for quite some time now, and I really like it. Next step is priming. Priming is so important. I don't always prime, but lately I have been reaching for a primer, and I think it's just because it's winter, so my skin kind of acts up and it's nice to kind of use a primer to smooth everything out. If you have oily skin, I suggest getting a mattifying primer and something that kind of is going to refine and make your pores appear smaller. I use the Lorac Porefection mattifying primer. I got this from Kohl's because Kohl's actually sells Lorac, if you're not aware of that. And yeah, this is nice because it keeps you matte throughout the day. Don't get a primer that doesn't say it's mattifying if you have oily skin, because then there's no purpose in using it. But basically, primer creates a barrier between your skin and the actual makeup you're putting on. So this is going to help the oils stay in your skin and not seep through out of the foundation. So yeah, this is nice. It creates a barrier. That way also your foundation isn't just sitting on top of your bare skin, and that's when it gets in all your fine lines and your pores. So primer is definitely a must. Next step is, this step is kind of personal. Everyone has their favorite foundations. Everyone's skin is different, and foundation is a very personal thing. Like, you know, my foundation may not work for you and your foundation may not work for me. These are two that I definitely like. MAC Studio Fix Fluid. It's definitely on the heavy side, but it gives great coverage and it has a matte finish, which is what you want to look for if you have oily skin. You want to look for something matte, because if you look for a foundation with dewy finish or a satin finish, by the end of the day you're just going to look super oily. This matte finish is the way to go. So MAC Studio Fix Fluid and Lorac Porefection foundation, which goes with the primer. And this one's great because it just hides your pores and keeps you matte throughout the day. Another great alternative is Revlon Color Stay because it has formulas for oily skin and combination skin, and Kat Von D Lock It Foundation, Makeup Forever Matte Velvet, I think it's called. Those are just some options if you want to explore them and see what works best for your skin. But today I mixed these two together. I personally like to mix two different formulas together. I think that sometimes it just looks better. So yes, I mixed these two together. Also, when it comes to foundation, make sure you get matched at a store or something, like a Macy's or a MAC or something, because I've learned that when I first got into makeup, I didn't know that there was different undertones, and you could be cool tones or warm tones. You could have yellow undertones in your skin or cool/pink undertones in your skin, and I would always buy the wrong color. But then once I, you know, became a makeup artist and stuff, I knew, you know, what tones will work best for my skin. I personally have yellow undertones, so I use foundations that have warmer undertones in them rather than cooler undertones, and you will see the difference. Like if you have yellow undertones and you're using a foundation that has more pink tones in it, cooler tones, it's gonna look weird. It's not gonna blend as well. So just make sure you get matched at your Sephora or wherever you get your foundation from. Next step is powder. Most important thing when you have oily skin, whatever cream product you put on your face, you want to make sure you set it with a powder. That's going to lock it in place and prevent the oils from seeping throughout the day. This is the powder that I use to set my foundation. It's the Neutrogena Shine Control Powder with Rice Protein Complex. And this just helps the oils stay in there and it absorbs any extra oil that I may have on top of my makeup. So this is a good drugstore powder. And I also finish my makeup with HG High Definition Powder from Makeup Forever. This just kind of blurs out any imperfections, makes my skin really soft, and yeah, it makes it even more matte. And I like using these together. I just like the way they work together. This one really helps control oil, and this one just kind of gives my face a nice flawless finish. So these are definitely a must. Okay, so that is pretty much all you need to know about foundation for oily skin and just kind of routine. Like I said, everyone's different. You know, these foundations may not work for you. It's kind of trial and error with foundations. You either like a foundation or you don't. But these are ones that I have been using for a while, so I definitely recommend them if you have oily skin. They are on the heavier side, but you can still see your skin through the foundation. Like I have a birthmark here, which you probably can't see, but well, you might be able to see on the camera, but it still shines through the foundation, which I like. I like foundation that doesn't cover up every little discoloration and imperfection on my face, because then I feel like plastic. I feel like, I don't know, I just don't feel real. So yeah, everything's trial and error. Moisturize, prime, find a good foundation, and always set your face with a powder. Whatever cream you put on your face should be set with a powder. That way, you know, us oily girls don't look like an oily mess by the end of the day. So yeah, hopefully this video is helpful. Now I'm going to show you the clip of me applying the foundation and all that good stuff. So yeah, have a good day. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.
I wanna love you every day and every night. We'll be together with the roof right over our heads. We'll share the shelter of my sin.